Thanks very much. I'll move right into it because I know time is short. So we'll be making some forward-looking statements, or our standard disclaimer. In highlights, it was almost 5 years ago today that I got a phone call from Lucas Lundin and to go meet with Kinross in Toronto to look at the Fruta del Norte deposit. And I'm really happy to say that we're now just about 2 months from starting commissioning and a few months from first gold. And also we're on track and on budget. And also the more exciting thing is we will be starting some exploration on some areas further to the south of us, which we feel very prospective for the next Fruta del Norte. This is a graphic of the ore body. You can see it's not large. This are inferred resources, indicated resources to the south here to be to your right. Those are essentially just under 5 million ounces, or just over 5 million ounces in that very small area. This is our current production profile. We will be starting production, as I said, in Q4 of this year, ramping up in 2020, and reaching 400,000 ounces in the first couple of years, and a total of a 15-year mine life. With this production and this grade, this puts us in the top quartile of mining gold mines in the world today. We will be producing at a cash cost, all-in sustaining cash cost of about $583 an ounce. We now have placed all our contracts for reagents and everything, and we are anticipating that we might be able to bring that cost down a bit. We also have all of our smelting contracts in place, so that, again, we're getting much more certainty and visibility on that cash cost today. This is a graphic of the ore body. You can see the gray is where we were as of the end of April. Our big push is to get to that south vent raise. The raise bore is now in country. We're about 3 months ahead of schedule getting to that south vent raise. It's about 280 meter raise, so it's not big at all. You can see the gold there is the drift and fill, which is in the higher grade areas. The gray is our transverse long hole stoping. And again, this takes us right through to the end of mine life. We're currently doing our cross cuts into development to pull our first stope here within the next few weeks. Again, you can see it's mined out in various quadrants. And then we finish up with the drift and fill. One of the other areas is we've seen that the ground conditions are much better than we have anticipated. And we're going to be putting some holes into that first drift and fill area. And we may be able to convert that to transverse long hole stoping, which would improve our production and also decrease our mining costs. This is a photo of the process plant from actually a few weeks ago. Now the CIL, you can see one of the rings of the CIL tanks going put up there. Now actually all the infrastructure is there. Engineering is complete on the plant. We have just a little bit left on the water treatment plant and the paste plant left to do. And as I mentioned, commissioning is expected to start in 1st of July. In terms of offsite infrastructure, we didn't have a lot. We had a power line and a road to build. This is you can see them stringing the power line now. That we're working on the substation. That is actually going very well. All the easements are in place, so that we will be ready for power energization in August. And the tailings storage facility, obviously in an area with 3.5 meters of rainfall a year, building a tailings dam is a bit of a challenge, but we're actually on schedule on that now. And this is obviously one area that the whole industry is watching now. We have Casey Clone-Crippen on site every day doing quality control, QA/QC on that. So what about for the next year? Well, we announced that we reached the ore body. Actually, what is very interesting is we're seeing things that we had not anticipated. We're doing infill drilling now, so we're feeling very comfortable that the model that we have is what we're going to be seeing when we're mining. We're very close. When I was underground last week, we are close to pulling our first stope, and additional crosscuts are already being done. And as I mentioned, the key for us is getting over to that south vent raise, and we're about 3 months ahead of schedule on that. The power line, we can start commissioning on our generators. In order to do hot commissioning and essentially starting to put waste through the mill, we need to be energized, so that's start of Q3. The tailings facility will also be complete in Q3, all with on track to producing first gold in Q4 of this year. Now, I mentioned a little bit about exploration as well. We are focused on FDN and getting that up and running on time and on budget, but we've got a significant exploration portfolio. The Suarez, what's called the Suarez Basin, is a 38-kilometer square area, and there's only been 18 holes in this area outside of Fruta del Norte drilled since the time going back to Kinross and Aurelian days. It's a tremendous prospectivity. We're focusing on the Barbesco target, and our plan is to start a 6,000-meter drill program in Q3 of this year. One of the key things today in any environment is maintaining our social license. This is one thing that we were very lucky in Kinross and Aurelian, had very good relations with the communities, and we've continued to do that. We focus on three factors, three pillars: local hiring, local procurement, and economic development. Not everyone can work or wants to work at Fruta del Norte. Our stats as of the end of April is just under 40% of our staff are from the immediate area. You got to remember now we're up over 2,000 people on site right now, so that's a significant number of people that have jobs in the local area. Our local procurement is averaging about just over $2 million a month in 2019. We were $2.3 million a month. This is in an economy prior to us starting construction, the GDP was about 60 million. So we're having a significant impact. The Ecuadorian government now has started to realize that what we said when we came to the country 5 years ago, that mining will create economic development, is true. The taxes in Zamora-Chinchipe, the province we're in, are up 100% year over year from our development and the Mirador development. And the last is ongoing engagement and economic diversification. Our shareholder base, where market cap is just over 1 billion Canadian. Newcrest is our largest shareholder at 27%. The family, through various trusts, about 23% now. Orion and Kinross still is a shareholder at just under 10%. Why should you buy Lundin Gold? Well, this is a story here. We're just a few months away from first production, and what is very typical in the gold space is of a re-rating of gold companies once they get into production. Unfortunately, as an industry, we haven't done too well in the past, and companies have stumbled or struggled as they go through construction. We hope to be able to we will break that trend. We not hope to, we will break that trend and be on schedule, on budget, and first gold, and hopefully will be ramping up in 2020. So in summary, we're on schedule, on budget for first gold. It's a great asset. Our average grade we anticipate is 8.74 grams per ton. That is fully diluted, including mine recovery. Our actual at the face grades are in excess of 10 grams per ton. We're fully funded, and 84% of our CapEx is committed, and we still have 20 million in contingency. So our contingency is roughly, as a percentage of uncommitted capital, roughly where it was when we started out at just over 10%. We're well ahead on our underground development. We're at the Orebody. As I mentioned, we're now on schedule, on budget, 65% complete. And great upside, also potential as we continue to drill underground to expand the resource at FDN and the new exploration plays to the south. On that, thank you.